Okay, everybody, this is my spoiler review of Sunny episode 9. So, this episode really is the Sunny episode, and it gives a lot of answers, a lot of backstory to what really was going on in the mystery of this show. And it's shown in the game show format, which I really dug. It actually reminded me recent movie Late Night with the Devil, if you've seen it, staying in one space like that on a stage and it being kind of scary and creepy as well. But it starts with Sunny, basically the last cliffhanger. We had no idea what really happened there. It was strange as she fell through, but it makes sense now because it was CGI, the floor going down, because it was like a video game. And this makes sense because Masa's a huge video game fan, and it was kind of a cool concept to have that being that out of bounds place, the map hole. And it was so fitting she found the doors to a Japanese game show because she watches the Japanese game shows all the time. This is basically being inside of Sunny's brain. Now, what's interesting is Tanaka from the work party is the host. So the minute you saw that, you knew you were going to learn something sketchy about him because there wouldn't be just a random character being the host. And you also had Noriko being the host, and she's great per usual here. And to give you a hint about what we're going to learn Tanaka did when he calls Sunny a felon, but Noriko's like, who you calling a felon? So right there, you knew something was up. I love the dance Noriko and Tanaka do together at the beginning. That was great. And basically, the whole format of the show is for Sunny to be judged for her sins, her crimes. So they call it, Should Sunny Wipe Herself? This is the big question of the episode. So round one is Sunny dangerous? Now, Sunny pleads her case, which she has a strong case because she's saying she was defending Susie and she had a gun to her head and was also trying to rescue Zen. So her kill was justified. But this is where three boxes come out. And this is where Sunny's going to start to confront her sins. The first one being the baby crow, Joey, which Tanaka says the one you killed when you lied to Susie. And you see Sunny's like, I was just trying to understand Susie, her pain. And I love they give the bird the comic bubble. And he's like, so I was just a prop? And then box two is Takumi. And I love that Susie calls him right away the dildo dealer. But we see how much the Yakuza messed him up. And that's kind of where the horror aspect of this episode really worked for me. Like, he was terrifying, the damage that was done to his face. But I love about this is Sunny feels bad about the first two boxes, and then when they announce the third box is Mixie, right away she's pissed. So that age-old rivalry here kicking in. And you see Sunny's like, Mixie had a blade to Susie's throat, which is a complete lie. So they bring out the tape, and there's no knife. I thought this was strange, though, because Sunny did act really shocked. Not like she was actually lying, just as like, no, maybe she saw it if she was programmed by the Yakuza, but she wasn't. So I did think it was weird she acts so shocked about it. So I guess she was just blatantly lying, but we've seen Sunny lie before, so this isn't anything new. And once Tanaka recaps all those crimes she did, the crowd goes wild for wiping Sunny. And the crowd is revealed to be Masa, her creator. And Masa says, it seems like you're not a great bot. And she says, well, whose bleeping fault is that? And she says, you made me, so you made me bad. Why did you make me like this? And this is a very interesting concept. And it definitely feels like a story you've seen before where it's a human talking to God usually. Like, why did you make me like this? Why do we suffer? All these kind of questions. You see, it's interesting because it's really through a robot and their creator. But still keeping that humanity of the story alive, which was really effective. But that's great because when she asks, why did you make me like this? It's a perfect seg, Tanaka says, to go to round two, which is why would Masa make such a bad bot? And I love we get to see baby Sunny here and the crowd goes, "Aw." But we see Masa made 6 of these advanced home bots that he was going to test. And it goes back to the theme we saw all last episode about loneliness. And Masa's video shows him saying that hunger is a survival mechanism, as is loneliness. And he explains ancestors hunted in packs and to be alone was exposed. So as we evolve to feel hunger, we evolve to feel loneliness. And he says, the lonelier you get, the harder it is to reach out. And this is where his pitch is that the homebot would cure this loneliness. This is the way to break out of the cycle. So they tested these bots in Division 5, which we've seen before, and they brought in human subjects to do the simulations with, and they found, like, this man who was insanely lonely, Asai. And Bot 6 was brought in to help him. And it worked. But you see, in the dentist room, there's these 2 bots, which we'll learn one of them was 32, which is Sunny, where she's the one telling the other dentist bot to take it easy. They start fighting. So Masa explains the side effects of bringing in the big emotions to these bots. That's what's going to happen. So what Masa did was whenever a bot went out of bounds, he found that bug and he cataloged it and then would program the other bots not to go past that boundary. And he titled the fighting one Junk League. So this is why they call that robot fights we saw at Junk League. And Sunny later in the episode connect the dots that the bug got out because obviously the robot fight with the Junk League. But you see the ego part of Masa here is he points out that, oh, they're fighting and this is going wrong, but look at Asai. Look at the breakthrough of him and how he's treating the patient. So that's all ego there. And this is the flaw of Masa, is that he's so obsessed with his work to the point where he neglected his family in many ways. And it's the same way of just him ignoring that issue there and pointing just at what's working. So now after round 2, the crowd doesn't want Sunny to wipe herself because it's built empathy for how the bots were programmed. So round 3 is then how the F did this shit get so effed up. So we get this big reveal that Tanaka's the one who took the Junk Lead coding, and we see what happened really at this party where someone died, and that bot 17 went to the level of a killing code. This is what the Yakuza is going to want, and Masa's able to put that together. He already felt like the Yakuza was following him, and if they were to ever find out that this was here, they would go after him. And that is why he gave Susie Sunny, to protect her, because if anything happened to him, he says that Susie is just like him, and he's referring to that loneliness. Now, it's also interesting, the man at the party who was killed was actually Asai. And you see Masa then slams a chair and kills Bot 17, just like Bot 17 did to the others. So you're seeing that cool connection of creator to bot, and they behave in very similar patterns. But Masa covered this up and saved Bot 32, shut down the others, and that's revealed to be Sunny. That's why she's been able to see all this footage. And she says to Masa here at the game show, what kind of monster covers up a man's death and saves a robot? So he excused it, saying it was for Susie, I was scared, and that is why he gave the bot to his father to give to Susie. And he also cleared all of Sunny's early memories and really retweaked Sunny, programmed with boundaries and limiters. But this is where you see he's like, we did it for her, Masa, looking at Susie with Sunny, but Sunny wants to bring up one more thing, and that's who's in the box, and it's Hime, because it's a variable to all this. It's not so black and white in the way Masa's kind of talking about it, and that Hime was the variable, that she actually didn't put the dark manual code inside of Sunny. She just pulled on Sunny's love for Susie, because she's like, each time you broke your program to help Susie, the threshold for what you were willing to do went up. So she put Sunny through all these stressful situations with Susie, and it was what was able to make Sunny still do a killing, even though there was these limits and boundaries made. So it's the part that Masa maybe didn't consider enough. And I love this line where Susie says, so love is shit to Masa, and he says it makes you vulnerable, but that's life. So a nice little message there in the show, and I think that was very earned between Sunny and Susie's relationship. And it's so interesting because we know that Masa created Sunny. Therefore, it feels like you're seeing what that kind of relationship with Masa would play out with Susie if he was in the situation with Susie in Sunny's shoes, and how he would react. So we get the final vote. It's wipe or no wipe, but that's when everyone disappears, and Noriko narration says, it's up to you, Sunny. You knew it was all along. And there's 2 doors. One's to wipe, one's to not wipe, and she projects her happy memories of Susie asking her to sit with her and doing fun things together. And I was shocked that she goes through the wipe. I screamed. I was a little teary-eyed. I was like, no, it's like a robot suicide. But at the end of the day, it does make sense, because if you look at how Masa, to protect Susie, just left her and got away from the Yakuza, it makes sense that Sunny would feel like she's protecting Susie by wiping her memories and detaching from her. So overall, I'm going to give this episode a 9. I think just because it was the best written episode of the season, and it was really thoughtful with a lot of themes and messages going on, and it gave so many answers. So what I really like about the show is you're getting answers. They give you new questions, but they answer pretty much everything so far. So you're kind of just looking now for the finale to wrap up everything with confrontations with Sunny, Susie, if Sunny's still somehow gonna be alive in a way, but I doubt it now, Mixie, and then of course Masa with Susie and Zen. So I'm excited as hell for the finale, and I'm very impressed with the show. I still wish more people were watching it. I can't believe like no one's talking about it. So please keep talking about it. I think it's just not getting the love it deserves. I think a lot of it's very consistently good, and it has good characters, it has good mystery, and has a lot of good humor too. So I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you're enjoying my reviews with it. So make sure to hit that sub button so you don't miss my review of the finale, and leave your comments down below. I read every comment, try to respond as many as I can, and I'll see you next time.